श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतारिणं। यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरं कथाञ्चन स्मृते यस्मिन् दुष्करं सुकरं भवेत् स्मृतिर्भरितं स्यात् श्री चैतन्यं नमामि। Okay, who's going to share screen today?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. I
Yes,
can do
sir.
it. I can do
All
it,
right.
Prabhuji.
Okay, sure.
Hare Krishna Mataji, you are not well. You can take rest. I can share the screen.
She wants to follow in the footsteps of Guru Maharaj.
As is convenient, Prabhuji. I can just not read because my voice is not. But if you want, I can share the screen. As you said. Fine.
No, you go ahead, man. You want to do it, right? You can. If you're able to do it, you do it. Anandita Mata, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji, if my voice is audible, then I can read.
This time it is.
Okay.
Last time you couldn't read because your voice is not so audible. Yeah, this time it
Actually,
is.
when the fan is on, the voice gets blurred. So,
Oh, okay.
I stop the fan. Okay. Shall I start?
Yes, please start. Go ahead.
Chapter 19, further talks with Prakashananda Saraswati. Bhava is the transcendental ecstatic attachment for Krishna, which results from perfectly understanding that the person Krishna and the name Krishna.
Anandita Mataji, you are okay till now. Now I don't know what happened. Suddenly your voice is dropped.
Bhava is the transcendental ecstatic attachment for Krishna, which results from...
It has become even weaker.
I don't know why. Wait a minute.
You're okay when you asked, is my voice okay this time about the fan? All that is very clear.
Oh, I don't know, Prabhuji. I'm sitting with the same arrangement. I'll read just once again and then you see.
Some alien conspiracy not allowing you to speak.
Yeah. Bhava is the transcendental ecstatic attachment for Krishna, which results from perfectly understanding that the person Krishna and the name Krishna are identical.
No, Mataji, I think we still there is this. The problem is still continuing. Can't
then it's
hear you
okay.
clearly. Okay. Anyone else who would like to volunteer?
Prabhuji, can I?
Need to pray to Lord. Pardon?
Can I,
Nandapati Mataji.
Prabhuji? Yes,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Okay. Please go ahead. Anandita Mataji, don't be discouraged. Pray to Lord Jagannath. So you'll be okay next time. All right. Okay. Yes, Mataji. Please go ahead.
Chapter 19 further talks with Prakashananda. Bhava is the transcendental ecstatic attachment for Krishna, which results from perfectly understanding that the person Krishna and the name Krishna are identical. One who has attained Bhava is certainly not contaminated by material nature. He enjoys transcendental pleasure from Bhava, and when Bhava is intensified, it is called love of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya told Prakashananda Saraswati that the holy name of Krishna, the Maha Mantra or great chant, enables anyone who chants it to attain the stage of love of Godhead or intensified Bhava. Love of Godhead is the ultimate human necessity, for when one compares it with other necessities, namely religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, one can see that these others are most insignificant. When one is absorbed in temporary, conditioned existence, he hankers after sense gratification and liberation. But love of Godhead is the eternal nature of the soul. It is unchangeable, without beginning or end. Therefore, neither temporary sense gratification nor liberation can compare with the transcendental nature of love of God. Love of God is the fifth and ultimate goal of human life. Compared with the ocean of transcendental pleasure, that is love of God, the conception of impersonal Brahman is no more significant than a drop of water. Lord Chaitanya next.
Nandapatni Mataji, can you just pause for a minute?
Yes.
Suchismita Mataji, could you just go to Vedabase, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila, chapter 10. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila, chapter 10. Go to verse 66. She knows how to do it? Okay.
Prabhuji, sorry. Which Leela? Ananta Leela.
Antilila, chapter 10, verse 66.
Then verse 66. Yes.
Is it appearing on Vedabase, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antyalila, chapter 10, verse 66?
Is this okay, Prabhuji?
Yeah. So, Nandapatni Mataji, just read the translation. No?
Yes, Prabhuji. The seven groups began chanting and beating their drums in seven directions, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began dancing in the center in great ecstatic love.
Because we're studying about, of course, we're studying about Baba, but Prema includes Baba also. So it's a even higher stage, and this is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. This is Lord Chaitanya dancing at the Rath Yatra. There are seven groups of chanting parties, which and Lord Chaitanya was anyway. Okay, there were seven chanting parties. Let me just state it for now. Otherwise, there are so many details. There are seven chanting parties, and that is what is being described. Yeah.
Should I get back, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please continue. Please keep keep going to. Actually, you can get a page view where all of their verses appear together. Actually, no, don't go back to further.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The verses all appear together, so it's easy to read.
I actually
It's called the advanced view. There is a button on the top. You just have to click
Mataji,
advanced
if you
view.
will click the press back button, then you will get everything in one page.
okay.
Yeah,
This
okay.
is fine.
Yeah. So,
Roll.
Nandapatni Mataji, please continue from read again 66 onwards.
Yes, Prabhuji. The seven groups began chanting and beating their drums in seven directions, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began dancing in the center in great ecstatic love. 67. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remembered a line in the Orisan language and ordered Swarup Damodar to sing it. 68. Let my head fall
Okay,
at
just
the
click on
feet
that.
of
Hold on. Can you just click on that verse?
67, Prabhu?
68.
8.
Yeah. Okay, please read the Sanskrit, sorry, the Bengali also, Odia of it. Yeah.
Jagmohan Pari Mundayau. Translation, let my head fall at the feet of Jagannath in the Kirtan hall known as Jagmohana.
Okay, so please go back to the previous one. Previous view. Okay, yeah.
69. Simply because of this line, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing in greatly ecstatic love. People all around him floated in the water of his tears. 70. Raising his two arms, the Lord said, chant, chant. Floating in transcendental bliss, the people responded by chanting the holy name of Hari. 71. The Lord fell to the ground unconscious, not even breathing. Then suddenly he stood up, making a loud sound. 72. The hairs on his body constantly stood up, like the thorns on a shimul tree. Sometimes his body was swollen and sometimes lean and thin. 73. He bled and perspired from every pore of his body. His voice faltered. Unable to say the line properly, he uttered only Jag Gag Pari Mumu.
Jajagaga Parimumu.
Jaja Gaga Pari Mumu.
That is
74.
that is for the, he's not able to say the full line, Jagamohana Parimundayu. So he just says Jajagaga Parimumu.
74. All his teeth shook as if each was separate from the others. Indeed, they seemed about to fall to the ground. 75. His transcendental bliss increased at every moment. Therefore, even by mid-afternoon, the dancing had not ended. 76. The ocean of transcendental bliss overflowed, and everyone present forgot his body, mind, and home.
Okay, you can stop here. You can go back to
77.
talks of. So you can stop there. Okay, so we see here Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in so much ecstatic love for Lord Jagannath. It is said that he cried so much that there is so much water you could float in the tears of Lord Jagannath, of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is what we have been given. This is Krishna consciousness that we have been given. That that even by hearing these kind of pastimes, one can feel so much transcendental ecstasy. One can imagine how wonderful it would be if we were to be floating in the tears, floating in those water, which are the tears of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, if we who are conditioned, even we can sense a sense of ecstasy just by hearing about Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy, and then imagine what that state of ecstasy must be, which the pure devotees experience, which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Lord himself, is experiencing. So compared to that, what in the world can compare to that? What in the world can compare to the chance to be in that dance with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and float in the waters of his tears? So this is what we have been given. So quite often we may get overwhelmed with our mundane course and our jobs and our families and all the different things. But we should always remember that this is the great benediction that we have been given, that despite all the complexities that we may be, we have a direct access to float in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tears when we just pick up the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So usually in this material world, the cure is not exceedingly greater than the disease. They're kind of what do you say? I would say cure, the remedy. Yeah, you could say cure. It's like, okay, it is not like when we get cured of a disease, we still uh, have the impact of what it had done to us. Like, oh, we were ravaged by the sickness. But so in that sense, the cure does not mitigate the experience of sickness. It only helps us to get out of that sickness. That's all. But the happiness of Krishna consciousness, the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness, is of such a great quantity, and also for different this thing that Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that whatever obstacles that I face in serving the Lord, I consider that as a source of happiness. So who can even think of this? We are generally so overwhelmed by the difficult situation that we go through. Life is tough, birth, death, old age, disease, so many things that we have to grapple with, the daily course and dealing with people and all these different kind of things that which may seem, which are so mundane, which can overwhelm us. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur says if they're all meant to if they're all in the path of my serving the Lord, I consider them to be sources of ecstasy, happiness, he says. I mean, where is that conception? So, which means that Krishna consciousness completely changes our perception of the world, in the sense that right now, our perception of the world, thinking, feeling, willing, as Prabhupada said, thinking leads to feeling, feeling leads to willing. So, our thinking of the world produces a certain kind of feeling, and that feeling leads to a certain kind of action. So if we change the ways of thinking, which means that we're not imagining actually. So when we study the scripture, so our thinking changes. Then we see the world as Krishna's creation. We see our own body as Krishna's creation. We see everything as Krishna's creation, including our family members. Everything we see as Krishna's creation, and everything as belonging to Krishna. So our vision has changed. So our thinking has changed. So if our thinking changes, our feelings change. If our feelings change, our actions change. That is the secret to Krishna consciousness. Everything begins with change of thinking. That's why Shravanam is so important. Because Prabhupada said that we are what we hear actually. When we hear, we develop attachment to different things. People are so attracted to go to America, in India, maybe to study or whatever. Why? There's so much hearing about America, right? So hearing is what causes us to think. So when we hear about Krishna consciousness, especially when we hear about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, Bhagavatam, when we hear these kind of things, it changes the way we think. And so when it changes the way we think, it also changes the way we feel. So then when we go encounter all the different difficulties or whatever, it's insignificant. I mean, that's stage one. But we also have the opportunity as we advance that we come to the stage of, it's a source of happiness. That is the highest conception, because everything is being provided by Krishna. So it should give me happiness, right? So that is the vision of a pure devotee like Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But at least we can come to the platform of, it's insignificant compared to the great mercy that we are experiencing through Krishna consciousness. I remember there used to be one Mataji, Mother Ragatmika. I don't know how many of you read the Prabhupada Lilamrita. So in Prabhupada Lilamrita, Prabhupada gives an impossible order, the famous book marathon order, where Prabhupada wanted the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita to be printed in 2 months. And the devotees, literally, there's a whole team which worked 24 hours. One batch would finish, another batch would work 24 hours non-stop. They worked for 2 months and produced the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, and Prabhupada wrote a letter actually to all of them. He said that thank you for helping me with this Chaitanya Charitamrita, producing this. And he writes to that team, all those who helped me with this will go back to Godhead. So, of course, so then there is one proper disciple, Mother Ragatmika. She was a typist. So she used to live in Mayapur some years ago, maybe about 7-8 years ago. And she had to leave in Mayapur because her son had to go to college and things like that. But anyway, she lived here for many years. So, and one Vyasa Puja offering, she wrote that in Mayapur, sometimes the summers can be a bit intense in terms of the humidity. and things like that. So she wrote that when the summers get to me, when the summers become too difficult, then I remember that I deserve to burn in hell, but I've been provided the greatest place to live in the universe by the mercy of Prabhupada. So this is the change of vision, that the same thing which appears as miserable appears as a great benediction. And there is one Mataji who was giving a class, and she said that you have high humidity in Mayapur. Where is that humidity coming from? You have a lot of Ganges water which is evaporating, and that Ganges water is coming in the form of humidity and hitting you. So you are being bombarded by a stream. I mean, not in the sense of a forceful stream, but a stream of water vapor particles, which are nothing but water which is evaporated from the Ganges. So how fortunate we are even to experience that humidity. Anyway, so the point that I'm trying to make is that when we read about these states of ecstasy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or as we're reading here, further talks with Prakashananda Saraswati, symptoms of ecstasy are described. It is not meant to for us to feel discouraged. Oh, when will I get there? You know, oh, where am I right now? Oh, my life is so different than what is being mentioned there. That is not the outlook that we should have when we read these pastimes. We should have when we read these passages, when we read these pastimes, we should think how fortunate that we are. We are even able to access it. I mean, somebody, like, what is the stage of ecstasy? What Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is experiencing? Not even able to utter the full sentence. He's just saying Jajagaga Parimumu. Like I was telling, I mean, I think Vaisheshika Prabhu was saying that we can make a t-shirt out of this. People not be able to understand what it means when they're Jajagaga Parimumu. So anyway, so the point is that these states of ecstasies are described so that we can, even in sitting in our mundane world with all our difficulties and complexities or depressions or whatever it may be, we can still pick up the book and enter into that world of Krishna consciousness. So anyway, these are some thoughts on the first paragraph. Since it is Rath Yatra, I just wanted to, also we are reading teachings of Lord Chaitanya, so I just wanted to read that section of Lord Chaitanya and the Rath Yatra. In fact, that is a very small section we read. There are so many things which happen in that. So many ecstatic things happen. Devotees get slapped and all that. Anyway, that's it's a very beautiful section. And anyway, so the point is that these things are there for us to relish. And so whenever we feel we are unfortunate or we're in a difficult situation, we have these books. Just have to pick up and read Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing ecstatically at the Rath Yatra. And whatever, as they say, the blues will go away. Okay, so let's go back. We'll take questions at the end. I know there is already a question. We'll just take it at the end, or a little bit later.
Okay. Lord Chaitanya next explained that his spiritual master had confirmed the validity of the ecstasy he had felt from chanting the holy name of God, and he had also confirmed that the essence of all Vedic literature is the attainment of love of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master had said that the Lord was fortunate to have attained love of Godhead. The heart of one who attains such transcendental love becomes very anxious to attain direct contact with the Lord. Feeling such transcendental sentiment, one sometimes laughs, sometimes cries, sometimes sings, sometimes dances like a madman, and sometimes runs hither and thither. In this way, there are various ecstatic symptoms manifest: crying, changing bodily color, madness, bereavement, silence, pride, ecstasy, and gentleness. Often the person who has attained love of God dances, and such dancing places him in the ocean of the nectar of love of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya said that his spiritual master told him, "It is very good that you have attained such a perfectional stage of love of Godhead. Because of your attainment, I am very much obliged to you." The father becomes enlivened when he sees his son advance beyond himself. Similarly, the spiritual master takes more pleasure in seeing his disciple advance than in advancing himself. Thus, Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master blessed him, telling him, "Dance, sing, propagate this Sankirtan movement, and by instructing people about Krishna, try to deliver them from nations." Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master also taught him the following very nice verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:240. Evam vrataha swapriya nama kirtaya jatanurago druthu chitta uchcheh hasate artho roditi rauti gayate unmadvan nrityati lokabhayah. A person who constantly engages in devotional service to Krishna by chanting his holy name becomes so transcendently attached to the chanting that his heart becomes softened without extraneous endeavor. When this happens, he exhibits transcendental ecstasies by sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, sometimes singing, and sometimes dancing. Not exactly in an artistic way, but just like a madman. Lord Chaitanya further informed Prakashananda Saraswati, "Because I have full faith in my spiritual master's words, I always engage in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I do not know how I have become just like a madman, but I believe the name of Krishna has induced me. I have realized that the transcendental pleasure derived from chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is just like an ocean, in comparison to which all other pleasures, including the pleasure of impersonal realization, are just like the shallow water in canals." It appears from the talks of Lord Chaitanya that a person who cannot keep his faith in the words of the spiritual master and who acts independently cannot attain the desired success in chanting Hare Krishna. In the Vedic literature, it is stated that the import of all transcendental literature is revealed to one who has unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord and his spiritual master. Lord Chaitanya firmly believed in the statements of his spiritual master, and he never neglected the instructions of his spiritual master by stopping his Sankirtan movement. Thus, the transcendental potency of the holy name encouraged him more and more in chanting Hare Krishna, the Mahamantra. Lord Chaitanya next informed Prakashananda that in the modern age, people in general are more or less bereft of spiritual intellect. When such people come under the influence of Shankaracharya's Mayavad impersonalist philosophy, before beginning the most confidential Vedanta Sutra, their natural tendency towards obedience to the Supreme is checked. The Supreme Source of everything is naturally respected by everyone, but this natural tendency is hampered when one takes to the impersonalist conception of Shankara. Thus, the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya suggested that it is better not to study the Sharirak Bhashya of Shankaracharya, for it is very harmful to people in general. Indeed, the common man does not even have the intelligence to penetrate into the jugglery of words. He is better advised to chant the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In this quarrelsome age of Kali, there is no alternative for self-realization. After hearing the arguments and talks of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the Mayavadi sannyasis who were present became pacified and replied with sweet words. Dear sir, what you have spoken is all true. A person who attains love of Godhead is certainly very fortunate, and undoubtedly you are very fortunate to have attained this stage. But what is the fault in the Vedanta? It is the duty of a sannyasi to read and understand the Vedanta. Why do you not study it? According to Mayavadi philosophers, the Vedanta refers to the Sharirak commentary of Shankaracharya. When impersonalist philosophers refer to the Vedanta and the Upanishads, they are actually referring to these works as understood through the commentaries of Shankaracharya, the greatest teacher of Mayavadi philosophy. After Shankaracharya came Sadananda Yogindra, who claimed that the Vedanta and Upanishads should be understood through the commentaries of Shankaracharya. Actually, this is not so. There are many commentaries on the Vedanta and the Upanishads made by Vaishnavacharyas, and these are preferred to those of Shankaracharya. But the Mayavadi philosophers, influenced by Shankaracharya, do not attribute any importance to the Vaishnava understanding. There are 4 different sects of Vaishnava Acharyas, and each follows a different variation of personalism. Shuddha Dvait, Shuddhadvait, Vishishtadvait, Dvaitadvait, and Achintya Bhedabhed.
Okay, can you just pause here? I think if I speak now, we may as well go on till the end of the class, because I'll try to explain what is Achintya Bheda, because we may think that we know what we're talking about, but quite often we don't know what we're talking about. So, okay, before all that, this thing about Vedanta Sutra being impersonal, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that, he tells Sarvam Bhattacharya, I am able to understand Vedanta Sutra as they are, but when you comment on it, it is like covering the sun with a cloud. So you're covering the Vedanta Sutra, which is like a sun, with the cloud of your imagination. This is the reply that, this is how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replies to Sarvam Bhattacharya. Now, in academic circles, this is like a commonly known thing. It's not like I'm saying it. I mean, you can check it yourself, that in all the academic, in all the universities of the world, in academic circles, all the scholars, the academic scholars, accept that if you read the Vedanta Sutra directly, the conclusion you are going to have is that God is a person with multifarious energies. So, however, they in academic circles, they have this thing that they give importance to those who have commented on it. So Shankaracharya has commented on it. Therefore, they accept Shankaracharya's comment because he has commented extensively on it. They're academic scholars. They are not interested in finding the truth and all these kind of things. They know the text reads like this. This is the interpretation of Shankara. And because it's an intellectual work and it's very rigorous intellectually, apparently at least, so they just accept the version. But there is no ambiguity even among academic scholars that the text read by itself, definitely depicts God as a person with multifarious energies. Then, of late, means like in some years, this was they would read, they would accept the Sharirika Bhashya as a good explanation of Vedanta. Because it is scholarly presented and all that, so they just accept it. That's all. Now they have shifted they're accepting one of Shankara's later followers, Bhaskara. Now the academic scholars accept his interpretation. So anyway, Bhaskara's interpretation, anyway, I won't get into that. We'll leave that. That's not our topic. But the point is that if the Vedanta Sutra, if they are read directly, our philosophy, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained, we follow what is called the Mukhya Vritti. Mukhya Vritti means we take the direct meaning of the meaning of Vedic scripture. The Gauna Vritti means you interpret. Okay, so Shankara uses Gauna Vritti as the main thing. He interprets everything. Everything is based on interpretation. But for us, we follow Mukhya Vritti, which means we take the literal text literally as it speaks. Now, what is Gauna Vritti? Where do we need to interpret? So, our acharyas have given an example. Gangayam Goshampalli, which means there is a village on the Ganges. Oh, Ganges is water. So, how can there be a village on water? So, when there is a statement like Gangayam Goshampalli, there is a village on the water, it is not taken literally. It is taken as there is a village near the water of the Ganges. So that is where interpretation is needed according to our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, especially Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself taught it. The Mukhya Vritti is we take scripture directly, and only when there is a need for interpretation, we interpret. Now, what is Acintya Bheda Bheda Tattva? Actually, I want to ask this as a question to all of you, which I think most of you know about it. Acintya Bheda Bheda Tattva is we are qualitatively equal to the Lord, but quantitatively we are different, correct? So likeness is likeness is abheda. Difference is called bheda. So we are quantitatively minute. We are infinitesimal. God is infinite. The difference is called bheda, but we are also qualitatively the same, right? So that is called abheda. So there is bheda and there is abheda. But our philosophy is not bheda abheda. Our philosophy is achintya bheda bheda. Achintya bheda abheda. So what is achintya about this? Can someone tell me what is inconceivable about this? Isn't it conceivable? It's very simple. We are qualitatively the same as God, but quantitatively we're different. So what is inconceivable here? Why do we say achintya bheda bheda? Any thoughts, reflections? I should not allow that. I should ask everybody to say anything. Do you know?
Krishna Prabhuji, it's something like that we cannot even imagine. Because to some quantity or degree, one can assume that that person must have this qualities and all. But it is
Why,
something.
if you have a daughter, the daughter may be same like you in some ways, maybe different like you in some other ways. What is difficult there? Bheda bheda. What is inconceivable?
But like Prabhu says, now we are saying in quality but not quantity. So quantity wise, we cannot assume to the degree that Krishna has, and there's no limit. It goes on increasing every time.
See, but we have a measure, no? Like for example, like say, inconceivable means you cannot think. This is the meaning of achintya means you cannot. It is outside the range of your thinking. But this is very much within your range of your thinking, which we can easily understand this, no? That the God is infinite. Infinite, we know. We have gone and seen so huge. I mean, whatever. When we study mathematics or you stand in front of an ocean, it is that's infinite, and we are very small. What is difficult to understand there? It is not beyond conception. No, it is when something is beyond conception, it's called achintya. But it is very much within conception. So what is inconceivable there?
Prabhuji, can I try?
Yeah.
So Prabhuji, today only Guru Maharaj's there's this snippet came that said Guru Maharaj said that Krishna doesn't need to reciprocate with us, but still he does. That's his greatness. So is it can it be related to that God is infinite and we are finite, but he comes to or he is interacting with us and reciprocating love with us? Is that
No, see, there are many things which about the Lord which are inconceivable. Okay, right now we are talking about this relationship between the Jiva and the Lord, where the the philosophy says we are identical with the Lord in quality, but we are different in quantity. That aspect of it. What is inconceivable about this?
That we do not see ourselves as souls.
No, see,
Because
when we say no, see, is it within conception or not is the question. It's very much within your conception to think that you're simultaneous. I mean, you're similar to God. You're a different. It's not like something which is boggling your mind. It is something very much which is within your conception. Right now, it is not mind-boggling. So why is it called Achintya then? Which Achintya literally means which should boggle your mind, which is you cannot handle it. I mean, it is beyond human capacity to handle. Right now, this concept is very much within a human capacity to handle. What's so difficult? I think it may be answer may be a little difficult, but unless you've studied before, okay. Okay, so there are many ways in which it is inconceivable. So the first thing is just like object and attribute. Okay, let's take for example sugar. Sweetness is the characteristic of sugar. At the same time, can we say sweetness is separate from sugar? Then we'll say what is so is there something called a sugar which is not sweet? So the concept of a substance and energy, there is what is called a likeness of difference, but in reality there is no difference. This is called Vishesha in philosophy. Vishesha means there is a likeness of difference, but there is actually no difference. You understand? Just like sugar and sweetness. Can we say they're separate? No. Can we say they're the same? No. I mean, there is a substance that which is sweet, right? So the whole thing is there's only likeness of difference. There's no actual difference. So that is why this is considered as Achintya Beda. There is a likeness of difference and with the Lord, but actually there's no difference. But at the same time, it is Beda and Abeda. That is why it is inconceivable. Now I think this is beyond our concept, right? This is beyond us for us to understand. How do we understand this? That that example of the sugar and sweetness is given so that to understand this thing. So when we say Achintya Beda, we are simultaneously the same as the Lord. At the same time, we are different. It is like saying sugar and sweetness. Okay? So that is why it's inconceivable. How can we conceive of it? We are different. We think we are different, but at the same time, we are not different. But we are different. So it's like, it's inconceivable. Cannot be conceived with the human mind because energy and energetic cannot be separated actually. But in this in Krishna's manifestation, energy and energetic appear separately. Like Krishna and Radharani. That is also inconceivable. Are they the same? Yes. Are they different? Yes, they're different also. Radharani is energetic. Krishna is energy. But we should remember Achintya Beda applies to all categories of energy and energetic. Jivas are Achintya Beda in one way. Radharani and all, they are Achintya Beda different. There are different types of inconceivable simultaneous oneness and difference. There are different kinds of it. There are different kinds of Achintya Beda. So for the Jiva, there is one kind of Achintya Beda. For Shaktis, there is another kind of Achintya Beda. Like that. So we are not the same as, we don't fall in the same category of Achintya Beda as the as Srimati Radharani and her similarly Shiva Tattva. So these are all, so the entire gamut of these teachings are beyond comprehension because it is not how we simply understand, okay, it is we are same qualitatively, We are different. It's not just that's not just that. Energy and energetic cannot be separated, like sugar and sweetness. So when we say there is difference, it's actually likeness of difference. At the same time, that likeness of difference is also real, whatever. So this whole thing is very difficult for our minds to wrap around. Therefore, it is said that it is Achintya, Veda, Abheda. I think that's already enough confusing. So let me open up to some questions that you may have in regard to that. Okay. I don't know if you understood what I was trying to say. Best is if you take the example of the sugar and sweetness. Sugar and sweetness cannot be separated. At the same time, we have the concept sugar is sweet. Sugar holds sweetness, correct? So like the energy and energetic are related like that. There is a likeness of difference. At the same time, you cannot separate them. Okay, now I'll genuinely open up for questions without explaining further.
Prabhuji, like it was mentioned in the first paragraph about the Ashtashastric Vikara of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and
Okay.
one of the Vikara was like it was bleeding. The pores from the pores it was bleeding. Here's stood up and attend. I understand it happens, but how could the skin was bleeding? So it was, and so like you were just now you were asking for inconceivable. So I was thinking the Ashtashastric Vikara of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita is completely inconceivable. So this is one of the examples.
So it appears mundane, but it's not. That's all. It appears to us, to our eyes like that, it's mundane, but it's not. I mean, that is the whole bewildering potency of the Lord, right? That's why even Brahma gets bewildered. It shields the cover because he thinks, oh, it's an ordinary body. So these are perfectly understood only by the pure devotees. Others, those of us who are conditioned may, because we're not freed from that. Like for example, when we look at the world, it is said the way we look at the world depends on the color of glass we are wearing. If you wear a blue colored glass, you'll see it as blue. If you wear a red colored glass, you'll see it as red, like that. If you wear a yellow colored glass, you'll see it as yellow. But if you wear a plain glass, you'll see it as, you'll see the world as it is. So Krishna consciousness means we come to the stage of seeing the world as it is. Until then, we are seeing colored glasses. So when we see through our colored glasses, Lord Chaitanya's pastimes appear in a certain manner. Yeah.
No, I know that I don't have I will not have this capability. I was just asking, like, it's completely inconceivable. And those amongst the group.
See, no. There are two different things. One is perceiving reality. Okay. The other is understanding the depth of that reality. First of all, you have to perceive the reality. Then you can understand the depth of it. So pure devotees means they all perceive the reality, first of all. Now, and as it says, the birds can fly in the sky according to their capacity. So according to the advancement of a pure devotee, different devotees are pure devotees at different levels. That's why the example of the birds is given. So each of the pure devotees can understand that reality according to the status of their Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
But everybody perceives reality accurately. There's no, everybody seeing through plain glass. The extent to which they can see, I mean, like the depth of to which they can see, so I may use the word depth. That depends on their advancement. But everybody can see reality.
So has the same thing happened when the Leela was going on? There was a huge, crowd was there. So, so everybody could perceive, but the depth, they could go deep into according to their advancement. Is it like that? Or that time everybody could understand the depthness also?
When we read these pastimes as we are reading now, aren't you feeling it is spiritual and ecstatic?
According to my level, right?
But you're perceiving it, right, as ecstatic.
Yeah.
You're not perceiving it as mundane. Because you're a devotee, you're perceiving it as ecstatic. Now, your perception may differ from someone else's perception, from my perception. So like, for example, in the Prabhupada Leelamrita, we have these pastimes when the first Rath Yatra is being held. So when that first Rath Yatra is held, some devotees are thinking about the cart and some mechanics of the cart, which is also fine. Jagannath's transcendental chariot. But Krishna, what is it? Prabhupada is thinking specifically about this pastime. Lord Chaitanya has so much in ecstasy, he's not able to utter fully. He's thinking of Jajagaga Parimum. This is what Prabhupada is thinking when the Rath Yatra is going on. So different beings perceive differently according to their status in Krishna consciousness. But they're all perceiving the same thing. They're not perceiving some, they're all perceiving the same thing, but the degree of perception is different. Of course, we are not even perceiving the spiritual nature of the Lord. Forget about that. We are only partially perceiving. Even those who fully perceive, but the degree to which they are able to understand the depth of it, that depends on their status in Krishna consciousness. But they all perceive what is going on. But the experiences that they have due to that perception are different. Like, for example, all of them are seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are not thinking, is it how we are thinking? Is it how can blood come out? We are thinking about all these things, right? They don't think about all these things. So, see, no, this is spiritual reality. That's all. Know it.
Yes.
Until we come to the stage of bhava, where we experience, everything is fate dependent. Shraddha. I'm not saying that at the stage of bhava, you don't have Shraddha. In fact, Shraddha is so much matured into experience. It's not a question of Shraddha anymore. It's direct experience. So, in the level of prema, everybody is just experiencing. Right now, we have only faith. Okay, so you may have faith, this is spiritual. For them, they don't need to all these things. Is it spiritual? Is the blood? I mean, they don't think about all these things. For them, it's just experience, spiritual experience. That's it.
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, I asked because I have read, obviously, I must have read a few times before also, but this point, I think that I'm reading for the first time. So that's why
Which point?
The bleeding part. Because the other Ashtasattvic Vikar, the hair standing, perspiration, that, it was in mind that these are the types, but this was something very new thing for me.
Okay. Also, even in the, in generally, even the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna bled, when he was hit with the arrows. So, that is a transcendental bleeding, which we cannot conceive clearly. There are many inconceivable. This is one of the inconceivable things. The previous one, what I was talking about, inconceivability of the difference and non-difference between the Lord and the Jiva. In the sense that it's not obvious, in the sense that the way we talk about it, it's obvious that Jiva is different from the Lord. Yes, very clearly the Jiva is different from the Lord. At the same time, the Jiva is not different from the Lord also. So that is why it's Acintya Beda. That is inconceivable. That's all. Okay, Harini Radhika Mataji, you are asking me the question. You still haven't understood it, right? Just like sugar and sweetness cannot be separated. So like that, the Jiva and the Lord cannot be separated. That's the meaning. Is that okay?
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhuji.
Pardon? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, like they are separated. That like we can see that we are separated from Lord. So that's not inconceivable. So what is inconceivable? I don't understand that.
Pardon.
Like you said, the energy cannot be separated from the energetic. So the
Yeah.
jiva cannot be separated from the Lord. But
Yeah.
we can see that we are separated from the Lord. So that's not inconceivable. So what is inconceivable? I don't
No.
understand.
We are not separated from the Lord. That is the whole point, actually. We are not separated. We are intrinsically related. Prabhupada always clearly always says, we are intrinsically related. So if you think you're separated, that's an illusion. You're not separated. At the same time, the question is not about separated or not separated. The question is about whether we are the same or we are different. Okay? So we are different. At the same time, we are same also. We're same and different. We know quantitatively all these things are there. Yeah, quantitatively we are different. Quantitatively the Lord is infinite and we are infinite as well. We know all these things. Yet the relationship between us and the Lord is like sugar and sweetness. You understood, right? So that is why the inconceivable element comes into the picture. Inconceivably same and different.
But we understand, no, like Prabhupada also explains with the example of drop and the ocean, that how they are same also and how they are different also.
Correct. So what is
So
inconceivable in that?
nothing.
Correct. Correct. Nothing is inconceivable in that. But yet we are saying our philosophy Achintya Beda. Why?
Yeah, so I did not understand what is inconceivable.
Yeah, because Dvaita holds that the Lord and we are separate. That's it. We're different. That's all. You know. So if we Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, I mean, he took. That is also true. We are different or not? We are different.
Yes.
But at the same time, we are not different also. That's why Lord Chaitanya, it says he combined all the philosophies, right? And he came up with this grand final conclusion, which is Achintya Beda.
I still don't understand the Achintya part.
No, can you say sugar is separated sweetness is separate then is different from the sugar?
No.
Can we say we are different than God?
Yes.
We cannot. This is why it is said that that Achintya. If we are like sugar, if we are intrinsically related like sweetness and sugar, can we say we are different? We cannot.
But we see that quantitatively we are different.
Yeah, quantitatively we're different. At the same time, we are not different. And this concept is inconceivable. You're not able to conceive, right? That's why we're going back and forth on this, right? You're only able to see the difference. What about the non-difference?
Non-difference is in the terms of quality that we have such
Correct.
like he
Apart from quality, there is this thing also that energy and the energetic are not two separate things. They're one. I mean, they are. Yeah, you cannot. There's only an appearance of difference, but there's actually no difference.
So this similarity is not just in the terms of quality. The similarity or this oneness is in terms of the energy and the energetic cannot be separated.
Exactly.
So we cannot understand how we are not separated from the Lord. Is that what is inconceivable?
No, you don't. Like for example, there's no meaning of saying sugar and sweetness are two separate things, right? At the same time, there is a concept. Obviously, sugar has the quality of goodness, but there's no meaning of saying that sugar and is there a sugar which can be salty? No. So there's no meaning of saying there is a sugar which is not sweet or things like that. Sugar means that which is sweet. So, but at the same time, can you separate them? No.
No.
But there is an appearance of difference, right? Yes or no? Because sugar is something which is sweet, which is energy and energetic. That's why object and attribute, these two things, is there an actual difference? Our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas have explained it's called, well, especially Baladev Vidya Bhushan, Madhvacharya, in fact, introduces this concept of Vishesha. Vishesha means a quality due to which an object appears to be different. It is not factual difference, it is an appearance of difference. You know, I mean, yeah, what is, well, with the whole, that That's where this whole thing gets into an inconceivable run. But we are not the same of God also. We are not the same of God also. You understood, right? That's why it's inconceivably Bheda and Abheda. Inconceivably, the Bheda is there. But at the same time, the Abheda is also there.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji.
Now it is inconceivable.
It is still inconceivable only to me.
Yeah. No, previously it was conceivable. No. We all think, okay, yeah, we are different. We are the same in quality, but different in quantity. It's all. Life goes on.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Where's the inconceivability there? Where's the inconceivability there? Now I introduced that inconceivability. That was the mischief that I did in this class.
You were explaining this in the Bhagavatam class also. There also I did not understand.
Yeah, that recent class that I gave, I was explaining this thing. No, if you take the example of sugar and sweetness, you will understand that whole thing. Can we say they're different? No. Can we say they're same? Difficult to say the same also. Because there appears to be a difference, no?
Yes. It's the sugar and sweetness example I understood like it is the characteristic possessed by sugar, but we cannot imagine sugar that is not sweet. So that
Correct.
is inconceivable. So we cannot separate those two. That's
Same thing like that, we
inconceivable.
cannot separate the jivas from the Lord. The jivas are energy of the Lord.
Oh,
Marginal
but
energy.
yes. So since
Energy
it
and
is
energetic cannot be
inconceivable,
separated.
so but we are still separated in some way. Is that inconceivable? How we are
Yeah,
separated?
exactly,
Oh,
exactly.
oh, okay. Like sweetness is still different from sugar, but still we cannot think of sugar without sweetness. So we are not
Exactly.
separated from, but
Yeah.
oh,
The whole
so
thing is
it's,
inconceivable. Now you understood how it's inconceivable. Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
we are not separated from the Lord, but still at the same time we are separated also. So it is inconceivable how at the same time we are not separated and separated also.
Yeah, correct. Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. And one more question I
But
had
but
from
but again, please remember that there are different kinds of Achintya Bheda. The Lord and the Shakti Tattva is Radharani, and then that is a different kind of Achintya Bheda. Okay, but we is a different kind of Achintya Bheda. So our philosophy is very colorful. There are different kinds of Achintya Bheda. We are not in the same category as Radharani and the gopis. We are jivas.
and okay, what is that?
No, what I'm trying to say is that there are many types of Achintya Bheda. We are of one type of Achintya Bheda, jivas and the Supreme Lord. Okay, Shakti Tattvas, which is that Radharani and her expansions. They are a different type of Achintya Bheda, not the same as our type. We are a different type of Achintya Bheda because they are different energies of the Lord.
And similarly, this cosmic world being one and different.
Yeah, exactly. That's another
Guru being
category. That's another
that.
category.
Okay.
Yeah. Internal energy, external energy, marginal energy. All three of them are Achintya Bheda only, but of different types.
Okay. And Prabhuji, from before I had a question I wrote
Yeah.
on that
Just a second, Harini Radhika Mataji. Prabhuji, like you said, different levels of Achintya Bheda Ved. So, is it, can we see that there are different levels in the terms of Krishna and other Vishnu Tattvas also, where it is said that Lord Brahma has 78% qualities and Shiva has 85 and Narayana has 94. So, can it be said in terms of that also among the Vishnu Tattvas?
My point is the differences we can always point out. Okay. But the sameness is very difficult to conceive. right? So first of all, the thing is it is same and not same. Simultaneously, it is both. How can, so either we are different or we are same. How can we both be same and different? There is the whole problem. You understand, right? We are same in the terms of sugar and sweetness. In that sense, we are same. But at the same time, we are not the same. We are different. We know all these things. Like, okay, we are minute and all these kind of things. We know all these things. At the same time, there is a sameness also. How do you conceive of it? You understand, Madhi?
Yes, Prabhuji, आज के लिए बहुत हो गया. Next time you take this inconceivable part now.
No, that's why you can't conceive it with your mind. You know, there is a sameness. At the same time, there is a difference.
Yes.
Means like, how do you say, they are both existing simultaneously. Like sugar and sweetness is a very good example. Are they the same? Yes. Are they different? Yes.
So like you said, the substance and characteristics part.
Pardon?
You said no in the beginning that object and substance or like substance or
Yeah.
characteristics, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the characteristic, the feature of the sugar is sweetness. You cannot
Yeah.
separate both, like Prabhupada also says. But
Okay.
at the same time, they are not the same because
Yeah.
one is the object and one is the characteristic.
Attribute. Yeah.
Yeah, attribute. So in that sense, they are not same, but because it's the quality of sugar to be sweet, then it's same. So in that sense, you said conceivable. It's same but not same. So this is something inconceivable.
Correct. Yes, exactly. We are energy of the Lord.
Yes, Harini Radhika, sorry, you continue.
Okay.
No, Anji, thank you. Prabhuji, this that we read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, that they were floating in the tears of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and sometimes we read that streams of tears were floating like the Ganges. We read such descriptions. So are we to take it literally, or does it simply mean that he was crying very profusely? How should we understand this?
Our acharyas have not explained it as figurative. Anyways, Lord Chaitanya is Supreme Lord. He can produce millions of oceans. So for him to just cry and produce a pool of water is just easiest thing to do.
And we also read that when Krishna left Vrindavan, Nand Baba and Yashoda Mata were crying rivers of tears. That
Yeah. I mean, see, what our system is that unless the acharyas say that this is a poetic description, we take it. We don't deny that it is an actual description of reality unless it is stated to be kavya. See, there are three types of languages that are employed in scriptures. You know, one is the language of the teacher to student. Vedas talk in that language only. You know, teacher to student. That there's a certain, that's called instructive, right? And then there is language of between well-wishing friends. Okay, it is called Suhrit Bhasha. The Puranas are all written in that language, in that style of well-wishing friend talking to another well-wishing friend. I mean, friends kind of thing. And the third is Kavya, Natya, drama, all these things. That is called hint, language by hint. You know, so suggestive language. So first is instructive language, second is well-wishing language, third is language, suggestive language. So Bhagavatam combines all the three. Bhagavatam combines, it's explained by Acharyas. Bhagavatam speaks in all the three languages. Not at all times simultaneously, but sometimes you'll find instructive language, sometimes you'll find well-wishing language, so sometimes you'll find suggestive language also. So unless our acharya specified, we don't take which language it is. We just accept it. That's all.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Unless the acharya say this is suggestive language, kavya, this is kavya, then we take it as okay, this is suggestive. It is not that there is a flood of tears there. But our acharyas have not said it. None of our acharyas who commented on the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we take it that that is what it was. It's a flood of, I mean, whereas Puranjana's story, that is suggestive. I mean, you could say it is also a well-wishing. Anyway, I don't know which category it belongs to, but it's definitely, yeah. So our acharyas have given specific things of suggestive is, for example, it is said that is the language of a wife to her husband. I mean, this may not be understandable in modern times, but maybe. But in Vedic circles, the example is given just like if a woman needs something from her husband, she would not talk to him directly. I need this. Rather, she would say something like, the neighbor was wearing a good sari today, something like that. So from it's a suggestive language. The husband is supposed to understand, okay, she likes good sari. It's something like that. Anyway, I mean, I'm just giving a very simple example. So that is typically suggestive language is used in, it's called the language of a wife to her husband. That's the example given in scripture. That one is the teacher student, second is a well-wishing friend language, third is the wife to husband language. That is called suggestive. So because even in suggestive language, even a small word or one sentence is enough. It can evoke a whole set of meaning and whatever like that. So there are different ways that are engaged. So as far as Chaitanya Charitamrita is concerned, I have not come across any acharya who have said that these descriptions of Lord Chaitanya are spoken in the suggestive language. I have not. If I do come across, I'll let you know. But so far, no, I haven't come across.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. I also have an unrelated question if there is time, if no one else has a related
I have time if no
question.
one else has a question on what we did today. Anindita Mataji, I think you tried change from JDS to JPS, but what has happened is you changed from JDS to JDD. I think you changed from Anindita Jahanava Devidas, right?
Prabhuji, I don't know what is this now. What
Well,
Zoom is doing with me. Every time it gets changed by itself. I don't change.
maybe your Zoom is conscious.
I don't know. Let me see it again.
Okay, Harini Radhika Mataji, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, it is from a purport in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, text 31, where I'll read the line which I have doubted from the purport. It is said that two kinds of men, namely the Kshatriya, who dies directly in front of the battlefield under Krishna's personal orders, and the person in the renounced order of life, who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture, are eligible to enter into the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. So here, the Kshatriya is said to attain the sun globe or the heavenly planets due to his adherence to his prescribed duties perfectly. That is understandable. Why does the one who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture attains the sun globe? Shouldn't he attain Vaikuntha or at least the impersonal Jyoti if he is not a personalist?
No. First of all, the sun is not an ordinary planet. See, we generally think that what to say, all the planets in the material world are material. It's a fact. But there are different, like for example, we are very much steeped in the mode of ignorance and passion. Higher planetary system like Brahma, they don't have even gross bodies there. In fact, their bodies are made of fine matter. It's like Sukshma Sharira. It's not even like Stula Sharira, like this gross body. So even in the material world, there are levels of existence meant for beings in higher state of consciousness. So it does not necessarily mean that it depends on one's eligibility, one will be promoted there. So it is not that Even all the heavenly planets, these people are all useless people, worse than people on earth. No, no. Definitely, they are very much more qualified than us. And that's why Krishna has appointed them as representatives to control the whole world on his behalf. So, anyway, I need to read the whole purport before, after, text before, after, everything to get the full context. But in general, for example, what is it? I think it's Madhvacharya. Anyway, our acharyas have explained that when we say, when it is said, okay, what is the sun god should be worshipped? It's not sun god who has to be worshipped. It is Surya Narayana, the Narayana who resides in the heart of the sun god who has to be worshipped. Anyway, that's just a side point. But it is not that someone has performed spiritual, what is it? Spiritual benefits, so spiritual activity should necessarily go out of the material world. They can also be promoted to higher realms where they can practice even better.
But Prabhuji, since they are absolutely devoted to spiritual culture, must it not be that they are
Spiritual
like?
culture doesn't say absolutely devoted to the Supreme Lord. No.
Oh, what is the difference, Prabhuji?
Spiritual culture is not Krishna consciousness alone, right? Spiritual culture could refer to, there are there are 4 paths which are mentioned by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. There is Karma Yoga. These are all spiritual paths only. Spiritual path, then there is Jnana Yoga, then there's Ashtanga Yoga, then there is Bhakti Yoga. So there are different paths.
Oh, Karma Yoga is also a spiritual path.
Yeah. Yoga by definition is spiritual. No. I'm not talking about Sakama Karma is not a spiritual path. There is Pravritti Marga and there's Nivritti Marga. Pravritti Marga is your goal is to get more and more better and better material enjoyments by following the rules of Dharma. That's called Pravritti Marga. Nivritti Marga begins with Karma Yoga. Pravritti Marga is all the Sakama Karma, all these things. But Nivritti Marga begins with Nishkama, which is Nishkama Karma Yoga. Then you have Jnana Yoga. It's that the beginning, the first rung of the ladder is Karma Yoga. But they're all spiritual paths. Yes.
First rung is Nishkam Karma Yoga.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So depending on what level of yoga they are performing, they will be they might be promoted to a higher material planet also. Like we
Correct.
read that in the Brahmaloka, those who have they are like devotees only, so they also perform bhakti in Brahmaloka also, and after Brahma gets liberation, they have the same destination as Lord Brahma.
Correct. In Madhvacharya system, this is how you go back to Godhead. You become a demigod, then you progress slowly and you'll go back. In fact, Madhvacharyas consider, which is correct also, they don't consider demigods the way we consider. I mean, in the sense that, I mean, both conceptions are correct only, but just that we don't have a correct conception. Madhvacharya explains the correct conception. They're not ordinary people. They're great devotees, actually. Without being a great devotee, you cannot be a demigod. They're great devotees, but not necessarily pure devotees. Pure devotees are another thing. So they are slowly progressing. Eventually, when they reach the stage of pure bhakti and then practice and attain perfection, then they'll be transferred to the Vaikuntha planets. But they're all on the spiritual path.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, I have one request.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Matsu.
Prabhuji, today is my father's birthday, so I would be very grateful if all Vaishnavas can bless him that he can also start practicing Krishna consciousness and become like more favorable, and he also may start practicing Krishna consciousness. I would really request all Vaishnavas blessings for him.
We chant all together for him. Unmute. All of you can unmute. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. May Krishna, if he so desires, bestow his benediction upon your father, so that he may become favorable to your practice and of Krishna consciousness, and he himself may be able to progress in Krishna consciousness. Vaisheshika Prabhu usually says things like this, and he says at the end of it, all those who believe in this prayer in part or in full, unmute and say, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? We have a few more minutes. Okay, so then we'll stop here. We'll resume again next Thursday. We didn't do much today, but some days we finish a whole chapter. Some days we have some discussions. Today was that Acintya Beda and Lord Chaitanya's dancing at Rath Yatra. So I hope that when we all take a rest tonight, we may dream of Lord Chaitanya's dancing in front of Lord Jagannath. Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyevacha paritanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Anishka saw a dream last night and she was just telling a few hours ago. She said that at the main gate of my society, and she was seeing that a huge traffic is there and some, Sankirtan is also going on. And then when she stopped there and she was saying that what's all happening, then she could see that in the front of the huge crowd, the Sankirtan party and the cars are also, in the jam. So in the front of that, Guru Maharaj is there. And Guru Maharaj is coming towards our society, and she could see Guru Maharaj, and she saw that Guru Maharaj was looking at her, and he gave a smile. And everybody was there, and they were like, she said, well, everybody was telling me what the main thing that you want right now, something like that. And Guru Maharaj didn't say anything, but everybody was asking this, and she saw you also. But the Mayapur Prabhuji was also there in the crowd, and he was also asking me, what is the most urgent thing that you want right now? And she said, and nothing was going except meat in my mind. And
except this is a dream, right?
Yeah. She said, well, nothing was going on in my mind except NEET. So
NEET exam, is it? NEET exam.
Yeah, yes. And so then she asked me, what's the significance, man? Like, I've heard from Guru Maharaj only that if you see the Guru in your dream, it's very auspicious. So and that must be very auspicious. Must be.
No, it is auspicious that despite being so much overwhelmed by NEET, still she had a spiritual dream.
And she said she was just, I was looking at the Mayapur welcome video, I think day before yesterday when Guru Maharaj returned from Ulta Rath Yatra. I was seeing that video, and she came into my room, and I told her, see, Guru Maharaj has just reached, and we were missing that place, Lotus building, near the Lotus building, the bus was parked and Guru Maharaj came out. So she saw for I think 10 seconds or like that. So she said, well, I was not thinking at all about Guru Maharaj and everything.
No,
I don't
see,
know
one thing is that one thing is that we think that our waking state is a real state and dreaming state is a false state. Okay. According to our philosophy, both are equally valid because both are dreaming only. One is daydreaming, one is night dreaming. That's it.
Yes.
So that's why it is said that if the spiritual master appears in the dream, it is auspicious. At least in her dream, he has come to your colony.
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, I and the same thought. I hope the class is done, and please, you can all leave. I just wanted to talk to him, so I'm sharing this dream with you. And today I was thinking,
it's good for everybody to hear. No problem.
From last many days since I told you, that I would be shifting to Istanbul, and I think the offer letter would be coming in a week or so. Must be today. So I didn't write a mail to Guru Maharaj yet, because I was thinking when I will get the letter, then I will write the letter to Guru Maharaj and inform him and take his blessings. So all the time, I don't know, from last 1.5 months, I was sharing with Radhakishori Mataji also. Then here, there was, I never thought that Guru Maharaj can ever come to my house because it's on second floor and there's no lift. And
You,
the
you know
situation is
once,
like,
you know once when you're saying this, I remember that once there were, I mean, like, it was very crowded. I think Guru Maharaj had come to, it was Bangalore. I don't know where exactly it was. I can't recollect it. But it was very crowded. And I mean, what's it? I at that point in time in Bangalore, I was filling out the, I mean, giving out the appointments for Guru Maharaj, and so some, I think one lady, she came up and said that, I mean, devotee lady, she said that I want to meet Guru Maharaj. She said, I know it must be so difficult and all those things, but please give me an opportunity to meet Guru Maharaj. So then I just put out, yes, you can meet. No, so then she said, how is that possible? So then I said, look, everybody thinks Guru Maharaj is very busy. Nobody asked me. You asked me, so you're getting it. That's all. so, so as it was as simple as that. Everybody thought, oh, Guru Maharaj is busy. Nobody even asked for it. So somebody asked for it, got it. So like that, sometimes we think, okay, Guru Maharaj is so busy and so many different things we think, But I mean, whatever. But we still need to invite him or whatever, that's, you should do your part enthusiastically. That's it. So you can still invite him, Guru Maharaj. Of course, you said there's no lift, right? What did you say?
yeah.
Which
In this
floor are you
house,
on?
there is no lift, and the house is not so big. But yeah, if I would be ever fortunate, then yeah, Guru Maharaj can come and I can host as possible as for me. But from the last 4-5 years, things become very very restrictive. I cannot invite even a single Vaishnavas at my place. And there are some other reason I told you about this also. So since when I used to think many times in my mind that if sometimes it will happen that I will get into a new house where there will be a lift or there will be provisions, at least not maybe in the same house. There will be at least provisions that I can invite Vaishnavas, my Guru Maharaj at my place. How blessed I will be. So,
So
but
you see, the point is to believe, like, for example, I don't know if you know, in Delhi itself there is this Mataji. Her husband actually drives Guru Maharaj, used to drive sometimes Guru Maharaj in his car. Do you know
Puja
Pooja
Jaggi
Jaggi?
Mataji, huh?
You know her story. Do you know what her story was?
No.
No, okay. So in 2015, uh, Guru Maharaj was supposed to be airlifted from Durgapur to Delhi. Sorry, not Durgapur, Delhi. Durgapur to Chennai. Okay. And we had made all the arrangements for the air ambulance to airlift from Durgapur to Chennai Apollo Hospital. Everything was fixed. But when the air ambulance arrived, they said, sorry, we can't take him to Chennai because that aircraft we couldn't bring it. So the aircraft which we got is from Delhi. This aircraft can only go to Delhi. So at the very last moment, everything had to be changed. And we had to fly Guru Maharaj to Delhi. Okay. Now, meanwhile, this Pooja Mataji, what had happened was that she had met Guru Maharaj a few months earlier. This was February, I think, yes, just before the GBC meetings. And she had met Guru Maharaj a few weeks before. She had seen him in, what happened is there's Pushya Abhishek. After Pushya Abhishek comes, sometime later comes this thing, what do you call it? Nityananda Trayodashi. Nityananda Trayodashi, Guru Maharaj went to inaugurate what is it, Ekachakra new temple. And from there, he was admitted to Durgapur Hospital. So before all this happened was the Pushya Abhishek. So she had come to Mayapur to see the Pushya Abhishek. There she just got a glimpse of Guru Maharaj. And she just said, she just felt how wonderful it is that this person, and she started following him on Facebook. So on the morning when he was supposed to be airlifted to Chennai, there was a message we had posted a message on Guru Maharaj's Facebook that we are taking to Guru Maharaj to Chennai Apollo Hospital. We are airlifting him, and the air ambulance is supposed to arrive in the next couple of hours. So, and this arrangement was done. I mean, the whole night there, Madhav Kanta Prabhu was working and all those things. Finally, it was all arranged. Even we didn't know, except when the aircraft came. At the last minute, we were informed that this cannot fly to Chennai. We had to go to Delhi. So meanwhile, this Puja Mataji, she had read this Facebook message of Guru Maharaj, which we had posted, that Guru Maharaj is going to be airlifted to Chennai. And she went to cook in her kitchen. She was just dreaming or wishing how nice it would be if Guru Maharaj comes to Delhi instead of Chennai. She went to cook, and when she came out of her cooking, the first message she saw that is Guru Maharaj landed in Delhi. So she was utterly shocked. How did this happen? So because of which she felt that she has to meet Guru Maharaj. So on that particular day when she came to the hospital, we had this system of guards outside the ICU. When she came, I was standing guard outside the ICU. So she came and met me and she said, "Can I see Jayapataka Swami?" I said, "I've never seen you before. Why do you want to see him? He's in the ICU." All these things I asked her. So she told me the entire story of Pushyabhishek and all these kind of things. And so she said, because of this, I think, I mean, I'm really eager to see him. But in my mind, I was thinking that why did this whole thing change from Chennai to Delhi? Maybe it was to just because she had this desire that Guru Maharaj should come to Delhi. So then anyway, but we can't take sometimes people, they may make up stories, all kinds of things. So I cross-questioned her in a different ways for about 15, 20 minutes. And finally, I was convinced that she's very genuine in what she's saying. So then I went inside the ICU. I told Guru Maharaj that you have done all kinds of things. So here is one more extraordinary thing you can do, which you've never done before, which is to meet a person for the first time in your life inside an ICU. He has not met her before. So then I asked Guru Maharaj, what do you think about this idea? And Guru Maharaj at that time, he was on the ventilator, so only had the alphabet chart. So Guru Maharaj said, bring her in. So then I went outside, I told her, Mataji, your desire is fulfilled. Guru Maharaj is willing to meet you. And then I took her into the ICU, and that's the first time the Guru Maharaj met her, and it's the first time she met him also, in terms of talking to him. And he nicely preached to her, and you know that today she's a devotee. That is because of that meeting with Guru Maharaj inside the ICU. So Guru Maharaj has not refused to meet a visitor inside an ICU also. And the first time that he ever met her was inside the ICU. So what I'm saying is, if a woman in Delhi can have such a strong desire, even while cooking, how impossible are all these things? I mean, you usually, come on, when you book an airline, these kind of things can never go wrong. That you are specifying it. And the doctors are ready in the hospital. They're waiting for Guru Maharaj to arrive in Chennai. Everything is prepared. Last minute, after the aircraft arrives, we are told that the aircraft cannot fly to Delhi. Cannot fly to Chennai. So you have to take him to Delhi. That's it. No choice. So then last minute, we had to make the decision, okay, let's go. So we went. So you see, a woman cooking in her kitchen had that faith that how wonderful it would be if I could see him or if he comes to Delhi. It happened, no? So this is called Krishna consciousness. That we sometimes do not have faith in what we desire. If we have faith in what we desire, Krishna conscious, spiritual things, then we never know what happens. How is this story?
Very nice. So I don't know. So what the wish that I still have, it hasn't been fulfilled due to my weakness in my heart or whatever. So now I feel that somehow, like some Krishna's arrangement, I've been put up in some other place, So there, I think I dreamt it many times. And not actually, but I was thinking, I was imagining how it will be if Brahma just coming to my house. So I was thinking a lot of times, and then I don't know. I want blessings from you and all. Sometimes it may happen that
I'll tell you what the attitude should be. Okay. First of all, you should believe it can happen. Okay. But you cannot expect it will happen. But you should believe it can happen. But you should not expect that it will happen. It is up to Krishna. But you should have the faith that if he wants, he can easily make this happen. That is the differentiating factor. If you think that it can happen and it has to happen, there's a problem. You should have the faith that it can happen. Now it is up to the Lord. If he wants, he will make it happen. That is called our surrender. Otherwise, we are attached to the idea that he has to come. Why? We should be attached to the faith that he can come. He can come. Now, Lord, I'm praying to you. So if the Lord wants, he will make it happen. If the Lord doesn't want, does not mean that you are less favored. No, that is not our philosophy. It is not that we are less favored because if he doesn't come home. We are not interested in fulfilling our spiritual dreams. We are interested in fulfilling Krishna's dreams for us. If our dream coincides with Krishna's dream, it will happen. Or if Krishna, whatever, he feels that this dream is, whatever, it's up to him. He decides. As Prabhupada said, man proposes, God disposes. But whatever he disposes is the most perfect thing to happen to you in your life. There's nothing
Yes,
more
Prabhuji,
perfect than what the Lord can do.
thank you for guiding me. And then Tanisha said, you came all of a sudden and you were just surprised. You were crying like anything. How does it happen? You just come. Like, and you are telling me, please give your, pay your obeisances to Guru Maharaj. Why are you standing like this? I was just stunned like anything. I couldn't do anything. But this is something very, very nice. There is a one Radha Shyam Sundar Lalita Vishaka picture at her bedside. And she says that I speak everything to them. And when I will tell you then what type of things I talk to them, then you will say you are doing so many offenses, but I don't mind. They are just like my friends. Maria, they are there, no? And they somehow helped you to see Guru Maharaj in your dreams. And this is something I don't know. Guru Maharaj fulfilled the desire which I had in this house before leaving this house. So it may, I don't know. If he
No, you should take
desired,
it as real, in the sense that, as I was saying, we sometimes think that only our real life, I mean, what we are experiencing
day
in our
life.
waking state is a real thing. But waking state is also a dream. But sleeping state is also a dream. Both are dreams. That is philosophy. That is our philosophy. Prabhupada very clearly explained. You're perceiving both of them. It's like it's identical. That's why the dreams of the spiritual master are considered spiritual. But there is one caveat which Guru Maharaj says. Sometimes disciples dream of something inappropriate also. Guru is giving an instruction. Okay, you can break the regulative principles. No, that we should understand is not spiritual. As long as the presence of the spiritual master and his instruction in the dream do not contradict his instructions in his physical body, then we can accept. But if there is any contradiction, we should not accept it. That is the working of Maya.
Yes, Prabhuji. And few days back, my mom and my mom especially used to follow one guru in Rajasthan, and that Guru Maharaj, that one of the Siksha Guru, have written so many books in and got printed in Gita Press also. So she was been following, and we were been brought up in that Vaishnava philosophy, So many things which Prabhupada I learned in Krishna consciousness were been known to me from my childhood. So in that sense, Ramsukharji Maharaj is one of my Siksha Guru, and there was one other Guru also, person, saint, who has been practicing under his. They were not the contemporaries. There was the age difference, but yeah, they were together. So that the other Maharaj was. He came to Guwahati just a month back, and since my mom is not so movable these days from last 1 year, so he came to my house and blessed her. And they were been coming before also. So it was giving me extreme joy, like that Shamaramji Maharaj has come and blessed my mom. So it was very overwhelming, and I was very happy. And these thoughts were going on, and my mom had a great desire to see Ramlila. So she went with my Dee and Dhabi. And when she returned, I was thinking about all these things, Maharaj and all. Then I saw a dream where Guru Maharaj and my mom and I'm there. This is the first time I forgot the complete dream. And I know there were so many things going on. But the only crux that I can get from the whole dream is that it was very nice dream, and Guru Maharaj blessed my mom also in that dream. So I was trying to contemplate what all I saw in that dream, but this is what I can say that, yeah, Guru Maharaj, my mom and I, everybody is so happy. And whenever I saw Guru Maharaj in my dream, it was not in the current situation. Like he is quite healthy, like that. So in that situation, I saw. So that was one of my desire also. But Guru Maharaj blessed her in the dream. And when he went to Guwahati, my mom and others went to take his darshan also.
Good.
So please bless me, Prabhuji, that the things which I could not do here for some reasons, I would be able to do there. I know it's a new place. I talked to the zonal secretary and other congregation members, and I don't know why I'm going there, but my only thing is that may I be able to practice and spread Krishna consciousness in whatever capacity I can. And I want you all to be there. I wanted to talk to Shiromani Mataji also. Prabhuji, you're on mute. You are on mute.
She is not here at the moment because we go on book distribution with our sons in the evenings. So I have to join them. I'll ask her
will
to
call
call you
them.
back when she's available.
Yeah. Later I
Yeah?
will call.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च परितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, जय गौर प्रेमानंदे।